Hey guys, I just wanted to go over a project we just completed. We installed a livestock water system. It was a grant from the USDA and specifically from N.R.C.S, which is the National Resource Conservation Service. And what they did was they paid for fencing and waterers to stop erosion and stop animals from getting into water sources. We live on the Powell River and we have 2 stock ponds, so part of that was we had to fence those off. But I'm going to do a walkthrough of the system and show you what it was. This right here is the city water. They just installed city water way out here in the sticks. And we'll start from there. So we ran the pipe underneath. That's a pressure valve to control the pressure. And we also were able to add some stuff while we were doing this. So we added a hydrant right here by the driveway so that we can wash our vehicles and water stuff. This is our current well right here. It's 320 feet down, that well, and that's what supplies the house. It's a good look at the orchard while I'm walking through here. It's a pretty good year for apples. I just seeded this back over, so hopefully we'll get some grass here soon on it. But one thing we did do is we ran city water to the house. So I'll just give you a quick show of that. It's nothing really big to see, but now we have 2 water sources. We can either have well water or we can have city water if something were ever to happen to the well, or vice versa. This is going to be probably a pretty long video because I'm just going to walk the whole system so I don't have to edit any video. We added another hydrant right here so that we can water some parts of the orchard, and or if we want to put some small tanks out here for the horses, we can. Easier to fill them. I'm sure the horses are gonna want to say hi. I've been feeding them apples, so they're all pretty happy to see me because I think I have apples. But this is our first stock pond, and we fenced around it, and we can flash graze the horses or cows or whatever livestock we want in there. And right now the horses are in this paddock. We've made the farm into 4 paddocks, and also part of this grant is that we promise to rotationally graze the livestock to keep the grass at a better level so we don't mow it down to nothing. So this is the gate into the pond. So right now the horses can get in there. We put in 3 waterers, and the way the waterer works is that they're automatically fed, and basically, so this is one paddock over here, so if the animals are in there, they can get water on this side, so it shares the fence line. And the way this waterer works is that they push down this, and then they can get to the water. And they're frost proof. It's a Ritchie brand, and so we ran fence all the way down there. There's a gate down at that end. so that we can rotationally graze into here. So you can see this grass is much higher right now because the animals haven't been in here in about a month, and they're just were let into this side of the pasture. We've still got to come back through and pick up some rocks and fix some of these trenches where we ran the water line, but just guys, give you a quick view. Everywhere where we put a waterer, we also added a gate in that fence line so we could easily rotate the animals or get through. So here's the second waterer, same system, and then the same gate. We have cows right now, and this paddock grass is doing really well. We've had a lot of rain this summer. So we ran another water line up to the barn, and so now we have water at the barn. I'll try to get over there. I don't want to make this video too long, but figured people want an update, so I will walk through and show everyone all the work that's been happening. We've been doing a much better job at keeping our fence rows clean. As you can see, it's much easier to maintain them than to let them grow up and get out of control. But all of our fences are now under control. We're gonna bush hog here in a couple weeks to knock down all these seed heads, but we sprayed all these pastures, so the weeds are much better than they have been in the past. Still got to come through and reseed all of these trenches, but we'll do that once we brush hog, get it real low so we can see them, get all the rocks out. Here's the third waterer, same concept as before. So this is the end of this paddock, and then the horses just came off of this paddock, so you can see how short the grass is. They definitely have their favorite spots where they like the grass. I'm gonna do a quick walk over here because we did add another hydrant way down here. I have a little water hole down here that I fill for the deer up here on the ridge, and it just attracts deer so they can come and drink water instead of going down. The river is down this big slope down here, but I won't probably go all the way down there, but I'll just point it out. But right down there is another hydrant and the watering hole, and that's a raised deer blind. There's an apple tree right there. It's fallen over, but it still makes apples every year. And the deer absolutely love that tree. That's also a big white acorn or white oak tree, which is the deer's favorite kind of acorn. This is a pecan tree planted about 2 years ago. This one's doing really well. It's about 6 feet tall. It was just a bare root. I guess it was about this size when we planted it. This one's hasn't done as well. It still grows, but it just hasn't really gotten any bigger from when we planted it. But this is what we call Chestnut Ridge right here. And down there, lining the road, is our black walnut trees. And they produce a lot of walnuts. So I'm just going to come over here and try to explain the different paddocks. So we added this gate as well. And so we can rotate through this. Right now this is the same paddock that the cows are in. But we added that gate in the corner over here. And this was already a current paddock. They used to grow tobacco in there and hang it at the tobacco barn, but right now there's no more tobacco really being grown in this area. And then we added this fence all the way back to the perimeter fence, so to make this paddock. Just going to come over and show the chestnut trees as well that we planted. These chestnuts are a cross between the American chestnut and the English chestnut. This is probably doing the best. We've planted this about 2 years ago. I'd say that tree is probably about 10 feet tall. The trunk is probably tripled in size since we planted it. And looks like a prison camp around these. Gotta fix these fences. The horses push on those fences and really loosen them up. These fences over here we've redone the cattle panels, but here's another small chestnut. It's doing pretty good. These two smaller ones are from a different batch, so they're probably just a little bit different genetics, but they're definitely growing and doing good. This one the horses got into and kind of chewed on, so it's a lot bushier than the other ones, but it's still doing pretty good. I've got to get in here and clear out some of the weeds, but overall it's doing good. So here's the fourth chestnut. It's doing okay. It's a little scrawny, but it's probably 10 feet tall. Getting really good grass this year. Lots of grass for the horses and the cows. This is another area that we were required to fence off. Basically, this is a big sinkhole. It's not like a sinkhole that you would think where you're going to fall in, but basically all the water drains down into the earth right there. And we did a little perimeter fence around it to keep the livestock out, and so they can't defecate in there and have the manure and stuff get down into the water as easy. So we burn stuff down there, and then probably maybe next year I'm going to plant maybe some corn or some sunflowers in there for the animals. We do a lot of dove hunting out here, so it should be good for that. We can keep the horses out and the animals and be able to grow stuff. basket. But that's the house where we started, and then the first waterer that we went to is over there. That's the second waterer, and then the third waterer is back over here. And this is our manure pile. So I better hurry up, it's starting to rain. Got a lot of manure. People always stop by and ask if they can have it. Let's get a look at some of the cows. This is our barn. We're in the middle of replacing some of the boards. All the bottom boards need to be replaced, but that barn, it's a tobacco barn, was made of oak, and it's pretty hard to take those boards off. You wouldn't think it, but that oak is probably 50 or 60 years old and hardened like a rock. But it's gonna look good once it's done. So here's some of the boards we took off, and here's what we're replacing it with. That's poplar. We can't afford oak anymore. So here's the final water hydrant. We didn't have water at the barn, so we're hauling water from a spring. And just a quick update, we've got a couple of stud horses in here, and one really big bull. There's some hay that we cut off of our lower fields this year. Then this is the final stock pond that we keep the animals out of. We can work the cattle and stuff in here, but we just try to keep them out of there. So that's an update of the watering system. So hope you enjoyed.